So here we go. We're going to get started. And here comes Brian. Yay. Okay, so welcome to Director Bound Week 2. Woohoo! Very exciting. All right. So I am recording just like we did last time, and bear with me here as I'm getting everything situated on my screen. Hey, Brian. So we are going to record this. We're going to go through week 2, and then there's going to be homework just like before. And the great thing about this is we are going to be trading off. So I'll be doing this week's training. Michelle will be doing next week's training. So you will always be hearing a different voice. So you're able to get, some tips and tricks from everybody that's here to help you out. All right. So let's share my screen and we're going to jump right in here. All right. Can everybody see it?
Yes.
All right. Woohoo! All right, so we are talking tonight about getting that full calendar that we mentioned last week, okay? It's important that we do enough shows, so we are in front of enough people, and we are able to share the business opportunity. And that way you can add new team members. And remember, to promote to director, we need 5 team members, minimum of $5,000 as a team, and your minimum is $750. So we need to be in front of enough people, whether it's in person or virtual. Enough is the word that we're looking for, okay? So let me ask, who got some bookings last week? Yay! Who else?
Not me, sadly.
Okay. So what worked for you, Kim, to get bookings?
I hosted a party,
Mm-hmm.
and I talked about the rewards, the host rewards.
Yep.
And they jumped on it, but they didn't want to book for January. They booked for February and March.
Okay.
So that was the only downside of it.
Okay. And here's the good thing that you're going to start to get better at is working through some of those objections. The fact is you got some bookings, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
The other fact is that you still need bookings for January, right? Does anybody here have 8 shows booked for January yet? Brian chuckles confidently. Okay.
No.
So everyone is still looking for more January shows. All right. So the good news is you have some future bookings, and we always want to have future bookings, but we still need bookings right now. So what we want to find out is, first, has anybody done a power hour in the past week? Awesome. Amanda, tell us about it. We can't hear you again, Amanda. We can't hear you. Start over.
This week I've dug into a lot more things. I've just done.
You need to speak closer to the microphone.
Yeah, we still can't hear you, darling.
This week I've done a lot of digging into the host coaching better than I have before.
Awesome. What did you do differently?
I just went into the training and I actually listened to everything that was there and provided to me, whereas last time I didn't listen to everything that was provided to me.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody else do a power hour? Can anybody remind us what a power hour is? What is it?
Power hour, from what I understand, it's similar to the booking blitzes that we do at our trainings where, you sit down, you go through, you spend an hour just working on getting those bookings, getting them filled up, and focusing on growing the business for about an hour.
In a nutshell, that's basically it. But the goal of a power hour is you break it down into 4 15-minute segments. So one is going to be on recruiting. One 15-minute section is recruiting. One 15-minute section is booking. One 15-minute section is host coaching. And the last 15-minute section will be creating shows, getting host packets out, any of those last kind of administrative or office-y type things. The great thing about this,
again?
Yeah, so we have recruiting, booking, host coaching, and then any administrative tasks to finish up what you were working on. Okay? So let's say you're making recruiting calls, you're doing that for 15 minutes, and you got a couple of people who want some information, or you want to set up interviews. So those are the kind of things you could do your administrative time. Same thing, I booked parties, great. So while you're doing your 15 minutes of bookings, you're not going to stop just because you got a booking, you're going to keep going, knowing that you've got the 15 minutes at the end to go in, create the party, email them, and get your host packet set up. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Power hours are fantastic because it's a way that you can be very focused and you can get a lot done in a short period of time. Okay? All right, so let's talk about the importance of tracking your contacts. And a couple of us were on a little bit early, and Kim had a question, so I started to lead into this a little bit. So we're going to get into it a little bit more. Okay, so it's important that we keep logs for multiple reasons. And what's really important is that you have two separate logs. You want to have one for booking leads and one for recruit leads. And you can have one person on both. That's okay too. You can do this on paper, whether it's a spiral notebook or loose leaf paper, or it can be on the phone, online, it doesn't matter. But remember, the one thing that we talked about last week is the goal is to have about 50% of your contacts be new business. Why?
Because that's what keeps everything fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Keeps new people coming in, keeps people from getting sick of you.
It expands your circle.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You want to think of it as a funnel. You know what a funnel looks like, right? You got to keep filling your funnel so you can get what you want out of the bottom. So we need to be continuously meeting new people. So that happens at parties, but it also happens with out and about contacts. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But you want to make sure that you are tracking it. You can track, like I said, whether it's electronically or on paper, it doesn't matter. But you want to make sure that it's somewhere where you are organized and you know who you talk to and when, okay? And the great thing, too, is when you have a list like that, a lead list, whenever you've got a couple of spare minutes, you can reach out to them, okay? So if it's in a spiral notebook, it's just something that gets tossed in your car with you when you go somewhere. Because if you're waiting at the doctor's office, if you have kids and you're waiting for practice or something like that, when you have those found little pockets of time, you can do a couple of quick calls and a couple of quick texts. And when you do that all the time, it makes a huge impact because you're able to build these relationships and make these contacts. And this is what will wind up getting you your full calendar and getting you on your way to director team. Okay? So the other thing that we want to know is how many people we need to talk to get the booking. And this is what we were talking about very quickly. So this is my version of the tracker. And like I said, there's some online. And what we're going to do is you write down every single person you reach out to. And then we want to find out the important columns are who and whether or not they engage, which means that they respond to you. And out of the people that responded, how many of those people then either booked a party or signed up as a consultant. Because what that number will give us is our conversion rate. So for example, if we've got 20 people in here that we reached out to, and we had 9 of them respond, and 2 of them booked parties, then I know if I need to book 2 parties, I need to reach out to 20 people. Okay? This business is not magical, it is mathematical. And you know, a lot of you have heard that a lot of times, but you need to know your numbers. That is where your power is, because you know what you need to do. All right. So does anybody know how many people you need to reach out to get a booking? Anybody have any idea what your averages are?
I do not.
Nope.
Most times you don't unless you track it. I didn't, you know, so that's why we do this. Okay. So when we reach out to contacts, it's important that we're offering both opportunities to every contact. It's just like doing a full service checkout. We can't tell what they're going to want unless we offer it to them. So first you offer them the business opportunity. And you could say something like, you know, Sue, I'm glad I got in touch with you today. You know, since we met at Sally's party on Friday, I can't stop thinking about you. You've been in my head, and I just know you would be so great doing what I do. You're so outgoing, and you obviously love our products. You would be a natural. I would really love for you to join our team, and it's a really busy season, so we need more consultants in your area. What do you think? If she says yes or agrees to meet and talk about it more, that's awesome. But if she says no, then clarify if it's not now or if it's never. Because sometimes people will say no, but it's just no for right now. So you can ask them, just say, hey, so is that a no, not right now, or is that a no, never? Because if it's a never, then you know where to go. If they say no, it's not right now, then what do you ask them? What's the next question?
Okay, when would be good for you?
Perfect. When should I follow back up? That's it. Because if we don't ask that, if they tell us no, we could assume that they mean no, never. But they may be thinking not right now because my sister's getting married next month. You know what I mean? So we need to clarify those things. And that way you can stay in touch with her and you can, let him know about the new consultant specials, but we need to know when. After that, then we move on to the host opportunity. So you can say, well, okay, then what about if we just do a party? Get your friends over, we'll show off some new products, and you can get double free products this month. And just see what he or she says. So you're starting with the business opportunity, and then you can go into the hosting opportunity from there. Pretty simple, right? None of this is rocket science. What the trick is making sure we're doing it consistently, okay? All right. So now we're going to look at what we want to be focusing on. 3, 2, 1. Has anybody heard this before?
No.
Yep. Okay. So this is the magic formula. Successful consultants do 3, 2, 1 consistently. That means making at least 3 contacts per day, doing at least 2 shows a week, and signing at least 1 new consultant a month. 3, 2, 1. It's pretty easy sounding, but let's look at it. If you make new contacts every day, whether they're people you see in person or people you call or text or private message, and you do it at least 5 days a week, that's 780 new contacts in a year. Think about that, okay? If only 1 in 10 of those contacts says yes to hosting, that's adding 78 parties to your calendar. With a $500 show average, which is below the company average, just so you know, with 78 shows a year, $500 show average, that's $39,000 in sales in a year, and $10,000 in commission. Anybody need 10 grand?
That's nice.
Yeah, okay. Plus, you're going to get bookings from each of those shows. So you will then also be in front of enough people to talk about the business opportunity, okay? And that way you're going to be adding new team members. And what happens when we add new team members? If we have $39,000 in sales, if we're doing 1 new consultant a month, that's 12 new team members. What does that make you?
Director.
A director.
Boom, shakalaka. That's it. Okay? This is not difficult. It's 3, 2, 1. It's a matter of doing it consistently and becoming effective at it. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at some of the homework. So one of them was to listen to the recording from PCU, Make It a Full Calendar. What were your best takeaways from that call? Now, you should have all reported back to your directors what you took away, but everybody share like one thing that you remember from this that you were like, oh my God, that's amazing.
I'm going back to my notes.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Absolutely pull your notes out.
Oh, my favorite was get there early, greet people, make small talk, and listen. Really, really listen to what they're saying, so that when you're doing your full service checkout, you can refer back to what they were saying to you when you're offering them the opportunity.
Absolutely. That is the beginning of building that relationship with that customer. Okay.
Yeah.
And you probably have all heard this. This is a relationship business. We just happen to sell kitchen tools. So that relationship can start the second they walk in the door if we're ready and able to do it. That means your stuff is prepped, you're all ready, you got things settled, and you're able to just be a person chatting with them as they walk in. That's
Yeah.
a good one, Kim. What did anybody else pick out? What were some of the other ones you liked?
I'm sorry, I don't think I did that this week. I must have missed that.
Okay. Amanda, Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Brian, anybody else got something to share from this one?
I'm not sure if I'm correct. I can't remember if it was the one I did or not. I do remember a part where I had said about remember always introduce your host and yourself.
Okay, I'm still having a hard time hearing you. Say that again. And go ahead and yell into your screen.
It said about remember to always introduce your host and yourself.
Yes. Yeah. And that's important because these people, most of them have never met you before. And it's important that we're a real person. So you want to thank your host, introduce yourself, because again, we're building that relationship. Okay? So making it a full calendar is the goal. That's the goal for every single consultant, from a newbie all the way up to the national executives. Everybody needs a full calendar. Okay? Because bookings are the heart of our business. Without bookings, we have no business. All right? So how do we find them? Bookings are actually everywhere, and we're going to talk about how you can get bookings both at your shows and outside of your shows. And we're going to talk about some strategies for fishing for bookings out at sea, which is out and about, as well as fishing in a barrel at your shows. We're going to run with this analogy, okay? All right, so if you're out to sea and you want to catch fish, use a big net and a big boat, and you find lots of fish. They may be anywhere in that sea, so you have to look for them and keep throwing out your net. So for us in looking for bookings, we want to look for those bookings everywhere we go. We are going to look for potential hosts everywhere that we do business. All right? So let's look at some of these potential fishing holes, different places that we encounter every week. All right? So we're going to, whoops, hold on. Yep, okay, sorry, got my screen got a little funky there. All right, so the first thing is wearing some PC gear. That way, when people see you, they see that you're with Pampered Chef. And you're going to have people say, oh my God, you're with Pampered Chef. And then what do they say? I love Pampered Chef, right? Okay.
Yep.
You want to make sure that you're ready for business. If anybody's ever heard of Belinda Ellsworth, it's one of the things that she will always tell you is be ready for business. Every time you leave your house, be ready for business. Always have a host packet, always know your open dates, always be ready to share a catalog, share a recipe, be ready for business. That's how you're going to continually fill that funnel and cast that net and get more people. All right? So you're going to have a catalog tote or a sling bag or whatever. Keep mini catalogs, regular catalogs, keep them all with you all the time. And then what you want to do is put sticky notes on the front of whatever you're going to give away, whether it's the mini or a regular or whatever it is. And you're going to ask them to give you their name, phone number, and email. And they will do it because you will have already started to build that relationship. So they know you with Pampered Chef. They love Pampered Chef. You've provided a catalog, a mini. You've already talked to them a little bit. And here's the most important thing is you want to turn it over. And where you have your information stamped on there, introduce yourself and show them your info. Okay, so you're going to be like, my name is Julie. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. Let me give this to you. Now, I know you're busy right now, so if you just want to give me your name and your phone number, jot your email down, I can follow up with you a little bit later when you're not so busy, if they're shopping or whatever. Anybody ever done this before?
No, but I did just buy sticky notes for that purpose.
So I'm going to tell you a secret. It works. It totally works. Okay? Because people love Pampered Chef.
Can I
And
say something real quick?
yeah.
I don't always have a sticky note.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do is I literally hand them my phone and I say, hey, will you put your, and open up to my notes, will you put your name and your phone number and your email here?
Yep.
And they give it to you. They give it to me every time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? Because they love Pampered Chef and you are their like contact. You're their in for it now. Okay? And so that makes them really excited. And then what you do is at the end of the week, all of those people that you met out and about, you tell them, I do a drawing at the end of every week. So you pull a name and you give them something fun, a season's best or something little, but you make sure that they get a little something from you. All right? Not rocket science. Not rocket science. All right. And you want to make sure that having advertising on your cars as well. Put your car to work. All right. And I have heard stories of people coming out from Target or whatever store they're in and people literally standing next to their car waiting for that consultant to come out because they really needed a consultant. No lie. People will like stalk you. Okay.
Can I say something to that, Julie, real fast?
Yeah.
I have gotten
4 parties from having a huge logo on the back of my car. My entire window has got Pampered Chef all over it.
Yep.
Literally, you are correct, stalking. It was so weird. One day I was leaving the gym. This was probably like 3 years ago.
Yep.
Leaving the gym. And I had my car in reverse. And a lady was standing behind my car. It was really weird.
Oh my God.
And I had to put it in park. And she came up to my window. She goes, I see you're with Pampered Chef. And I'm like, yes, I am. She goes, I need a fundraiser. I'm doing something for my church, blah, blah, blah. It was like, that was the first time.
That's amazing.
And then there have been other things as well, and just different little things out there. So what you're saying, everybody, be a walking advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
It truly does work.
Yeah.
Just do it. Get yourself, especially that shoulder, that bag. That works very, very, very well.
Yeah. And if you have kids, go ahead and pimp your kids out too. Put them in PC gear.
Yeah. Totally.
Seriously, I'm not lying. Because if they have been listening to you do Pampered Chef, you don't even have to train them. They're just going to recite what they've heard. Kids recite whether or not you want them to. Anybody who has kids knows this. Whatever you say, they're going to repeat, whether it's good or bad. So they already know what to say. Put them in a Pampered Chef shirt and send them out. Okay. Okay. All right. So we talked about, having host packets, having all those things in there. And that way you are ready to go when you get stocked, when somebody's stopping you and you're going to have business. Sometimes it literally will fall in your lap if you're ready for it. All right. So let's talk about where else. So think of everywhere that you do business. Those establishments get your business. So why don't you get their business too? Okay. Find the most friendly person there, compliment them on their great customer service skills and how friendly they are, and say, I'm always looking for great people like you to be on my team. And then they're going to ask, what do? You give them your 30-second commercial. If you don't know what your 30-second commercial is, talk to your director. We can help you. Work on that. My cat is here, so I apologize. And you're going to offer the business opportunity. Excuse me for a second. And my dog just came in. I'm sorry. All right, cool. And Brian and Kim are laughing because I know what happens with both of my animals here. Okay.
Yes, we do.
Yep. Okay.
Go.
All right. So this way you're going to be able to offer the business opportunity. You give them your 30-second commercial and tell them that you're looking for new groups of people to meet. So you can show them some quick, easy meals that they can prepare in 30 minutes or less, and they're going to get some of the best kitchen tools in the market. I'd love to get together with you and your friends and family and make some great food together. It's like watching a cooking show on TV, but you get to eat the food. Okay. If it's a virtual party, you can do the same thing. It's like having a cooking show right on your phone that's personalized to you. Okay. And think about switching where you do business from time to time so you get new contacts. So if you always go to the same branch of your bank, maybe go to a different branch. Okay, instead of going on your way to work or on your way home from work, do it on a Saturday when you're running errands. Go somewhere else. Okay? Another place, checkout line. Okay? So you could say something like, I can't wait to try these brownies at home. Don't they look awesome? She asks you about them and you say, have you heard of Pampered Chef? And of course, he or she will say, I love Pampered Chef. What do you say to that? When was the last time you saw a catalog? Here's a copy of our latest spring products or whatever. Check out the Quick Cooker. It's like our top seller. I'd love to follow up with you and see what you think about the new things. And then you're going to hand them the Post-it note and you're going to get their information and then you're going to follow up with them. Okay? Trust me, it works. Okay? So let me say something like this. Imagine yourself getting invited to a Pampered Chef party a coworker is throwing, and it's with a different consultant. How would you feel? We don't want this. Everybody needs to know what we do, all right? So be sure that everybody knows that you're a consultant. Bring food to work and tell your coworkers that you're taste testing recipes that you're going to be making at some upcoming shows. Especially target people that work in the food service area. They will love our stuff. You may have some rules about, what you can do as far as solicitation at work, but you can always bring in food. Okay, so if you can't pass around a catalog, you can still bring in food and get people's feedback on the recipes. And then they're going to know what you do, and you didn't break any rules. If you can bring in catalogs, awesome. Go ahead and do that. But food is loved by everybody. Okay? All right. Where else can we go? What about the doctor's office, the dentist, if you go to the eye doctor, the veterinarian, everywhere like that. People love to eat, especially healthcare people. I know we've got some healthcare people here. They barely get a chance to pee. Okay, so if you're bringing the food, you just made their whole damn day. Cam is laughing because she's in the healthcare. You know it's right. Okay.
Yes, I do.
So if you can show these people a little love, they're going to be super appreciative. All right. This is a great fishing hole, and you can find lots of fish there. So make sure you're wearing your logo gear and you take in a catalog or two. Again, you're going to find the friendliest person there at the desk and ask them if they want to collect a few orders, because then they're going to get some bonuses, right? So you want to take something yummy, something homemade, like brownies or something, leave them in your Pampered Chef brownie pan or whatever it is, bring it in a Pampered Chef product, and tell them you'll come back in the next day or two to pick up your stone or your dish, whatever it is, with any orders that they've collected. Ask them if they want to do a live or a virtual show as well. Okay? All right. Next up, bringing recipes to potlucks are a fantastic way to help spread the word. When you hear someone is getting married, ask the bride or the family about doing a bridal shower. And if you don't know how these work, it's really amazing. Typically, it's somebody in the wedding party that will be the official host, and then the couple can create their registry, and then the guests will shop off the registry for the couple, okay? And then they can still purchase for themselves. And then the person who is the host typically gives everything to the couple. So that means the couple are getting things that are purchased from the recipe. Then they're also getting all the host rewards to complete their recipe. So they're getting the free products at half price and the discount. So it is a super, super, super generous way to take care of anybody that's engaged. So absolutely make sure you're sharing about that.
It was one of my most successful parties that I've had so far.
Oh, yeah?
My friends Kai and they got married, and they had a post-wedding shower, and everybody ordered something for the couple and something for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was one of my $3,000 months.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the other part about that is now you have met all of these people that you would never had contact with before.
Right.
Okay. At the gym, see if they'll let you set up a table with information about healthy recipes and tools and how to make them, especially January. Hello, everyone's back on the bandwagon and going to the gym. Okay. Perfect time of year for it. Do a prize drawing so you can get contact information. What else can you do? Talk to other parents about your children's sporting events and other activities. You can even do a quick show while you're watching whatever your kid is doing. No lie, okay? Because the other parents are trapped there just like you, and they're hungry. Bring food, okay? But you can do this. I know consultants who have done this over and over again. You've got people literally sitting right next to you. Do they know? Can you help them? Your business is waiting for you, literally sitting right next to you.
Can I share how I stalk people and get fundraisers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I really, and actually Nicole gave me this idea. Even though I trained Nicole and she was new, she has surpassed me by extreme amounts. So whenever I have time and I'm scrolling through Facebook, if I'm watching TV or something, I'm looking for people who say they're getting ready to do a walk. I'm looking for somebody who says, so-and-so, please pray for so-and-so, they're sick. One of my community people said her friend's house burned down. Mm-hmm. I immediately contacted all of those people and said, hey, I would love to do a fundraiser to help you with your walk. I booked a bunch of those. I would love to do a fundraiser to help your friend whose house burned down. Booked that. Mm-hmm. I would love to do a fundraiser to help your friend's son who has leukemia, to help them pay the medical bills. Booked those. Okay. Every organization that my children are involved in has done a fundraiser for me at least one time. And I have 4 children and they're very busy.
Yeah.
I always am, and I'm always saying, hey, let's do a fundraiser for you. Let's do a fundraiser. I do a lot of fundraising. It's a great way to beef up your sales, and you meet more people to get bookings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if anybody here is interested in going to Disney, fundraisers are another phenomenal way to rack up those points, because fundraisers tend to be bigger than a regular party because people want to give. So do exactly what she was just talking about. How can you help somebody? This is what we're always talking about. How can I help this person? Look around your neighborhood. Look around your community. There are people who need help. And this is a very easy way to help people. Love that. Love, love, love. What about garage sales and yard sales? These are great places to find people. You can target the seller as a potential consultant or host. Tell the seller that you're looking for vintage Pampered Chef items for a customer. When the host says, oh, I'd never sell Pampered Chef, you know you've got a great lead. Like, I would never get rid of my stones. You know that you've got somebody who really loves Pampered Chef. You can strike up conversations with other buyers and mention that you're the local PC rep. Be ready to hand out mini catalogs or recipe cards and collect their info for your 48-hour raffle that you'll do from those you meet over the weekend of garage sales. Now, obviously, I know it's going to be cold for right now, but garage sale season is only a couple of months away, right? I mean, starting at like the end of April, it's every damn weekend, every house you drive by, okay? So this is going to be right on our doorstep. And the other thing to remember too is you can make everybody a winner in that drawing. You tell them that you do a free cooking show and you bring the food, and you can bring, you can bring like paper napkins or paper plates and all that stuff. So they literally just need to have people there, okay? And you can then control the ingredients and you can buy them in bulk. So it actually is very affordable to do, all right? Consider holding your own garage sale and have a basket of mini catalogs or recipe cards to give out and do a drawing from those who attend. And be sure to check out online garage sale sites on Facebook, okay? Get into those, look for them, because a lot of times you'll see people asking for Pampered Chef products or for a PC rep, and then you're able to strike up that conversation right there, okay? What about booths and fairs? Anybody ever done a booth or a fair?
Yeah.
Yep.
Great place to meet people, right? These are huge. There are an abundance of these all year round, especially though in the spring and the fall. You're going to look for church bazaars, for school events, for festivals, for farmers markets, state and county fairs, all those different things that you don't necessarily pay a lot of attention to. Start paying attention to them. Your business is there, okay? Usually you want to look at ones that are fairly inexpensive, $30 or under, somewhere in there. Typically not more than $50 unless it's a multiple day kind of thing. A couple of tips. Be aware of ones that are run by individuals that are just looking to make money. Ones that are affiliated with a fundraiser are fantastic. A lot of times you're asked to provide a prize for like a group drawing. Absolutely do that. But then also do one at your own table. That way you get the information from each person, okay? And you're able to then follow up with them. A couple of other things. You always want to stand in front of your table. Any idea why? Instead of standing behind it?
So that you can easily talk to people.
Yeah, it's all about building that relationship. If you got a barrier between you and the other person, it's much more difficult to get to know them. So you always want to stand in front of the table, okay? Wear your apron, interact with the guests, and have them fill out the drawing slips, but you want them to hand the drawing slips to you. Why is this important?
So that you can thank them.
Mm-hmm. You can also write notes on the back, because when you met 75 people in the span of 30 minutes, your head is jelly at the end. But when you write down a couple of quick notes, pink shirt, little girl, or whatever, you'll be able to remember a little bit about who this person was, and you can take some notes. And the same thing, you can give away a free show to everybody if you want to. Some of them are going to say thanks, but no thanks, but some of them are going to be super excited. So this is another great way that you're going to start to meet people.
Julie,
Go ahead.
can I just say something about this
Yeah.
real fast?
Yeah.
When doing these, if it isn't a super busy one, sometimes even if it is, honestly, if some people really seem interested, we all know social media is a huge inlet. Ask the person while they're standing there in front of you if you can friend request them right away.
Yeah.
And it does work. And most of the time they accept right then and there.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that helps to jog your memory too, to remember what they also look like too.
That's a great tip. That's
Okay.
a great tip.
So something I started doing a while back is friend requesting a lot of people if they're very interested.
Yes,
Okay.
that's a really good tip. That's
No.
a really, really good tip.
I just didn't want to interrupt you, but I just wanted to throw that
No,
out.
please. That's all. We all learn from each other. Absolutely share. Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So if you're going to do a giveaway, like I said, it can be a free show or it can be a product. Just make sure it's something that's going to be inexpensive to mail, because they're probably not going to be right around the corner from you. So you don't want to be mailing a stone. Okay. So think about something that you can easily mail. Another idea is you want to have balloons at your booth, and you can have a small piece of paper listing a small prize, okay, inside. So when they book a party, they get to pop the balloon, they get to see what their prize is, and guess what? It's going to attract a lot of attention because people are popping the balloons and winning prizes, okay?
Oh, that's awesome.
Right? Isn't that a great idea? So let me give you an example of what a really good looking booth looks like. So this is from Brian Parker. And he is going to be, what you're going to see here is you want to see like a variety of things. You want to see height, okay? You want some height on the table. You don't want everything flat. And like we talked about, you want them to be handing you their door prize slips and not putting them in their bowl. All right, so you can see, and you don't have to have all of these products. Brian has 2 tables here. You can absolutely do a fantastic presentation with just one. Most of your fairs are going to be one table, but the point is you want to have some height, and you can buy inexpensive things like this at Walmart. They're literally a couple of dollars. You can get a picture frame for $1 at the dollar store, and you can put like the new consultant things in there. Very simple, but you want to have some height and you want to have some variety. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Realtors, another great connection, okay? Because a lot of them are looking for gifts for their home buyers. Most realtors give their home buyers a gift. Go ahead, Nicole.
I'm dying. I'm killing me on
Go,
this
go, go,
one.
go.
All right. So here's a really big tip. I put a post out there a while back on Facebook about realtors.
Yep.
And just wanted to touch base with some realtors, basically. And a lot of people thought I was buying or selling a house. Was not doing that.
Yeah.
I would private message them. My friends were tagging them. I would friend request everybody that they tagged. Okay. And I know a realtor very well. She's a good friend of mine. And what I did was I asked her, could I please come to your open houses? And she's big in the real estate market. And just come out and bring brownies. That's all I took was brownies.
Yep.
And put the brownies in the oven. As people were coming into her open house, it made the whole house smell great.
Yep.
She loved it. I loved it. I got leads. I even got bookings. I fell over, to be honest with you, because there was bookings. So ask realtors. Now, usually the open houses are a Saturday or a Sunday for the most part, so you will have to do a Saturday or a Sunday. And it works to a T. But yes, I did. I'll be honest. I had an in because this lady I knew very well.
Mm-hmm.
She's a wonderful friend, and I used to babysit her kids and so on. She's
Yep.
great. But if you don't know a realtor, put a post out there.
Yeah.
And just say, looking for some real estate agents. Anyone know anyone? And
That's a great idea.
yeah. And then don't say what it's about or anything. Just to get an in.
Yeah.
And then see what else you can do with that.
That's
Okay.
a fantastic idea. And I love the idea of going and doing the brownies. If
Mhm.
anybody's ever seen any of those realty shows, you want it to smell good. They always say have cookies baking because they want it to smell like home. What a great idea, Nicole.
Yep. So I just had to share that.
Yeah, absolutely. And like she said, reach out to the realtors. If you don't know anybody, you can easily meet them because they all give gifts. Every one of them gives some sort of gift, okay?
Yep.
And you can do something like, you can work with them because they're going to pay for it. It's not like you have to donate this gift, but you talk to them, you figure out what's going to make sense, what they want to spend, and then you've got an amazing connection because you've got somebody who's going to be consistently buying from you, and then you are able to then make connections with the people that they're selling the houses to, okay? Fantastic outlet here. Make sure that you introduce yourself to any new neighbors that are moving in to your neighborhood. Always bring a piece of goodie. Food, people, food. It's all about the food, okay? And, go visit neighborhoods where you want to do a show. And you can leave mini catalogs at the door. Some places won't let you, but, make sure that you're looking around. But never, ever, ever, just, never put anything in a mailbox. Okay, only postal carriers can put something in a mailbox. But you can go ahead and, stick minis in a doorknob or something like that. And ask for referrals too. Okay, so let's say there's a neighborhood that you've never done a show in, but you want to. You can put a post out there and say, hey, who knows somebody who lives in whatever town? Okay, and you can even say, I'm looking to do a party in every town in the county or whatever. And you're going to get connections. Like Nicole said, social media is a really powerful way to connect with people. That's what social media is about. So use it to help build your business, and you get to give away a lot of free products to people this way. Okay? Next up, let's talk about big shows, landing the really big shows. Wedding showers and fundraisers are what we want to look at because they are almost always over $1,000. We touched on this a little bit already, but these are really fantastic for multiple reasons. They're a great way to earn trips. They're a great way to earn other incentives, whether it's a free-for-all or whatever else is going on. And you get your name out to a large group of people. So let's talk about how we land them. How do we land these shows? Okay. Wedding showers. Let's start with this. So you're going to read the newspaper, or, you're going to look on Facebook because nobody reads a paper anymore. But, you're going to look for any time that anybody's announcing so-and-so just got engaged. All those pictures that have 500 likes, those are the ones you want to start paying attention to. Who's newly engaged? Among your family, among your friends. Offer to do a wedding shower for the couple, or at least snag a wedding registry, okay? Visit bridal boutiques, wedding planners, bakeries that specialize in wedding cakes, and see if they'll let you leave your business card or flyer there. If you've ever been into any of these places, if you've ever rented a tuxedo, there's always this section. See if you can put some of your mini catalogs there, because people are looking for registries, and this is a perfect place to connect with them. Most towns have bridal fairs and shows. Thing to remember, bridal shows are typically very expensive for the vendors, so you want to make sure that it's worth it. They are often hundreds of dollars a day, so it's going to depend on the specific event, if it's something that maybe you split with another consultant, and talk to your director. We can give you some details on it, but a lot of times they are worth the investment if you have the right ones sorted out, and we can help you with that. The other place to do it that's free, talking about them at every single party you do. Because everybody's going to know somebody getting married, okay? Whether it's a family or a friend or somebody at work, everybody's going to know somebody getting married over the course of a year. So make sure you're talking about them. Mention the gift registry. Mention what I was just talking about, that the couple, or whether it's a birthday or whatever, they get to double dip. They get the gifts bought for them off the registry, and they get all the host rewards. It's super, super generous. And then when you do get them booked, reach out to your director or your recruiter. We're going to make sure that we'll help you with the right tips to make sure you're successful at them. Make sense? All right, let's talk about fundraisers. The other big one we touched on. Fundraisers can be for all different causes, like Michelle was talking about, and what we've touched on a little bit. You just want to make sure they're for a nonprofit organization. That's pretty much the only restriction, okay? So you want to make sure that the check isn't going to be made to an individual. So if somebody is sick, if somebody is going through something, it's just going to need to be made out to that person's fund. Okay, it's a very easy workaround, and we want to make sure that we're helping people as much as we can. So for example, if it's, you can set up a special bank account like the Jones Tornado Relief Fund or the Smith Family Fire Fund or something like that. It's a very easy thing to do. So if you hear people talking about, oh, well, I'm not sure, what the check needs to be, don't overthink it. We can help people, we can get cash in their hands, and we can really make a difference when you start looking around your neighborhood, okay? Look at your community bulletin boards, look on your Facebook. Every town has a Facebook page. You can look on that. Look and be aware of when you are listening to the news. If you're watching the news, they're going to tell you about, unfortunately, some terrible things that are going on in your neighborhood, but you get to turn it into something that you can help people with, okay? As for the person who's in charge, give them your contact info and get theirs. Think about school groups, cheerleaders, ball teams, bands, gifted and talented programs, classes, going to space camp or other locations, family and consumer sciences, which is what used to be called home ec. All of those different places, they're always looking for money. Churches, temples, youth groups, other programs. Ask if the kitchen needs more tools. I've done this before because those places usually get people's hand-me-downs or the cheapest things that the church or the temple can afford. You can get them some really nice stuff and they get cash out of it too. It's a registry for the kitchen. Does this make sense?
Neat.
Okay, isn't that cool? You can do a regular show in the kitchen, and it can be a fundraiser. And either way, it's a great way that you can start meeting new people. All right. We also want to make sure that we fill out and refer frequently back to the launch list that happened at the very beginning. If you don't remember where it is, it's in PCU and we can pull it up for you. But your launch list is a fantastic resource, and you want to make sure that you are consistently thinking about friends, neighbors, relatives, greeting card lists, coworkers, your digital, all of these different things, all these different areas of your business, of your life rather. Make sure we're connecting with them. Do they all know what you do? Do they all know that you can give them free products? These are some really great resources, and they're literally at your fingertips, okay? Has anybody ever heard of the Franks list? Okay, this is a good one because it's pretty easy to remember. Friends, and not just best friends, but people you haven't seen in a while. Relatives, near or far, because you can do virtual parties or you can do parties when you travel, okay? Acquaintances. So these are people that you know but you're not super close to. Sometimes they're your best shot at getting parties. They're less likely to say no to you than family and friends, and you get to find the people who really love Pampered Chef. Your neighbors. Get to know your neighbors. Okay, you're going to know a couple of them, but you might not know all of them. Invite new neighbors so everybody can get to know each other. Kids contacts, excuse me, teachers, room parents, office staff, coaches, friends' parents, PTO members. If you don't have kids, somebody you know does. Talk to them, okay? There is always a way to make a connection. And then the last one is going to be significant others. So your coworkers, friends, gym buddies, your relatives, everybody knows people, okay? Your launch list that has a list of 40 people there, every person on that list has 40 or 50 or 60 people that they know, okay? It's a relationship business. We just happen to sell kitchen tools, okay? All right, moving on. So let's talk about what do we actually say, all right? And it can be something very simple. Hey, Kathy, this is Julie from Pampered Chef. I'm so excited because there's some really cool new things going on in our company right now. And I thought of you because I know how much you love Pampered Chef. I'm really psyched about the party I'm doing this month, and our host rewards and bonuses are amazing. Do you have a second so I can tell you about it? Pretty straightforward. Make it your own, but you need to make sure that you're reaching out, and you need to be energetic, enthusiastic, and you need to make sure that they hear that through the phone or it's coming across in the message that you're sending. Make sense? Let's take a look at what people might be saying. All right, you can talk about one-pan wonders when we show guests how to make a quick, delicious meal in one pan. These are your one-pot meals, okay? 30 bucks or less, or I'm sorry, 30 minutes or less for $2 a serving, or homemade gifts. You're doing, the mini fluted pans and those kinds of things. Fajitas and margaritas, brunch and punch, all these party pack themes. This is something you should all be familiar with. And remember to book in close as well, okay? People don't need a month. They need a couple of days, all right? Parties are booked all the time in the span of a week or less. People will know right then what they're doing on Tuesday. They may not know what they're doing 3 weeks from next Saturday, okay? And this is some of the things that you can be replying to. So if they say they can't talk right now, find out when you can. If they can talk, share. Tell them what's going on. It's double free products this month. It's 60% off the quick cooker. I mean, this is an incredible month to book parties. So know what you have available and treat this just like when you go to make your doctor's appointment. The doctor doesn't say, well, what works for you in 3 months? They say the first available date I have is, and we do the exact same thing. Offer the first available date. And if that doesn't work, you offer them the second one. And usually after 2 dates, you find something that works. Okay? You keep control of your calendar and you keep it very simple for everybody. All right? Now, we talked about out and about bookings, and there are a zillion places you can meet people out and about. Now we're going to talk about while you're at your shows. How many parties are we supposed to be booking at our parties?
At least 2.
Yep. Why?
1 to replace the party and 1 to keep your business going.
Boom, that's it. So we're talking about planting seeds throughout the show. And again, none of this should be brand new, but it's a review, and we need to make sure we're doing it consistently. You need to be talking about booking and recruiting multiple times, okay? Group hello, simple selling when you're talking to people. And you want to also be making sure that you're doing a confident close and you're doing the checkout chat. All right, and we're going to go through this very quickly because we are quickly coming to the end of time. Does anybody here not understand, what these things are? What's the group hello? Everybody knows how to do the introduction, right? Simple selling, what's this? Simple selling is,
basically keep it simple. Don't give too much information at once. Don't explode it. But like with simple, you want to keep it to the point.
Sorry, my husband's phone. Hold on.
Hi, Coco.
Every time somebody comes home. Okay, so the simple selling, this is when you have, your guests can be selling to each other. We don't have to do all the talking. We should not be doing all the talking. Let your guests do the talking. Confident close. This is when we want to make sure that we are talking about all of the different opportunities, about hosting, about becoming a consultant, and we do the door prize slips, okay? And all of your directors can give you more information about this, all right? So let's talk about the checkout chat. And I do want to take a second here. Truth with no consequences. How many of you talk to every single person at every party you do? Every single time.
I have started.
Yep. That is the key right there. You need to do all the other stuff, but if you miss this opportunity right here, you are leaving business on the table. Plain and simple. Checkout chat is something where you get to have the one-on-one. It's the only time that you really get a one-on-one with people, whether it's virtual or in person. And this is when you get to really connect with them. And you can ask them about becoming a consultant, ask them about booking a party, doing the fundraisers, all of those things. This is where the magic happens. And by the way, for in-person parties, make sure you are using the Express Party checkout. If you are not yet, make sure you talk to your director. Is anybody here not using the Express Party checkout at in-person shows? Everybody using them?
I have not, but I've only done 1 home party, so.
Okay. So the next one that you do, make sure you do the Express Party checkout. Everybody is happier and it gives you more time. Okay? Excuse me. So we talked about 2 bookings every single party. You are not through until you book 2. Anybody heard that before?
Yep.
Every time. So if you don't get 2 bookings at that party, because it happens, what that means is that before that show is submitted, somewhere else, you're booking another party. Okay, the goal is to get 2 from that party. Sometimes you're going to get 3 or 4. Sometimes you're going to walk away from a party having done everything right and get 0 bookings. You are still going to put 2 new bookings on your calendar before that party is submitted. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about why. And we're going to run through this very quickly. Has anybody here seen this graphic before?
Yes.
Okay. So the way it works is, let's say you get 2 bookings from every party. Out of the 6 parties that you have dated, 2 of them cancel, which means you get 4 parties held. There's always going to be a cancellation or reschedule. That's just part of business, okay? So you have 4 parties, excuse me, 2 bookings, 8 new parties, okay? So the way this works is going to start to domino up. If you have 8 parties booked, 2 cancellations, you now have 6 parties held. Okay, 6 parties held times 2 bookings. Now you have 12 new parties in 1 month. You see how this starts to snowball. It can snowball the other way too, very quickly. If you have 6 parties booked for January, 2 of them cancel, you're holding 4 January parties. You get 1 booking from each January party. You now have 4 parties in February. You have 4 parties in February. You lose 2, only 2 left. You're now walking into March with 2 parties. Okay? This is how it can very easily happen if you don't pay attention. The good news is this is what can happen very easily. We just need to stay aware, okay? So when we are talking about strategies for getting 2 bookings at every party, the first place we start is with our hosts. They are our partners. We work together, and if you haven't heard this before, they make in free products about what a consultant makes in commission. Okay, that's setting aside, any bonuses that you may be earning throughout the month, but that's how it works. We are a team, and I always look at it as I am working for my host. I want my host to get as many free products, as many half-price items as possible, and your host wants that too. Trust me, okay? So talking about how we want to work with them, they can be generating bookings for you. You want to make sure that you're doing your host coaching well. And some of these things shouldn't need to be said, but you know what? Sometimes they do need to be said. Be on time. Make sure things are clean. Make sure you're showing off the power tools, using your door prize slips. All the things that we've talked about, make sure you're doing them. And if you're having an issue, talk to us because we're going to help you. But this is where we get our parties, okay? All right. So host coaching, we're going to talk about more next week. But these, like I said, these people, your hosts, are your best business partner you'll ever have. Most consultants are past hosts, and most of your parties will get booked at parties. So make sure that you are doing effective host coaching. Make sure that host feels special because they are your business. Period. End of story. Making sure your shows are fun, using your power tools, making sure you're talking about booking posts for virtual parties. Is everybody using a Google form?
Yes, I just created one last week.
Yay! Every time. Every time. And
I'm working on it.
yeah, and if you don't know how to do them, we can help you. They're not hard, and you are likely in the virtual party group if you're doing any virtual parties. You can ask for somebody to give you an example, but this is how we get those connections. Okay, we've got to make sure that we're doing that. Remember, a full service checkout or private message, whatever it is, and you can book, especially virtual parties, you can book literally the next day. Okay, in-person parties can be booked the next day as well. It is done all the time. All right, so the goal, the reason that we're looking at doing these things is because each one of you wants to promote to at least director team, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the team that you're a part of has a larger goal to senior team and to executive team. And the reason that this is important is because when people on your team are successful individually, everybody on the team is successful as well. So there are more people in an advanced director organization than in a director organization. There are more people in a director team than on a team leader team. So what that means is you have the ability to reach out and help more people. You can help more people make a meaningful income. You can help more people get their way out of debt, get a retirement fund, pay for college, get a new house. You have the ability to give people that kind of income. You also have the ability to give away free products. So the more people we're able to do this with, the more it's going to continue to grow. And think about how much more fun your business is going to be next year when you are all advanced directors and you have other directors on your team, and you're going to be able to look at your organization of 60 or 70 people and know how much of an impact this is making. Okay? So what we want to talk about now is the call to action. What do we need to do? Mini catalog challenge, all right? If you feel uncomfortable and scared, good, because that it's something that we need to do. So the mini catalog challenge is we're giving away 10 mini catalogs to new contacts, and we are collecting contact info from them, okay? So it's exactly what we just talked about. Talk to your director. We can help you with it if you've never done this before. I promise you, people will give you their information, okay? 10 of them. So that means when you leave your house tomorrow, you're walking out with 10 mini catalogs, and you do not come back to this call next week until all 10 are given out and you've gotten the information. And you need to get their information because it's your job to follow up, not theirs, okay? 15 contacts this week outside of shows, at least, okay? That's only 3 a day. That's so simple, especially when you can copy and paste a large portion of your messages. We also are going to be listening to Make It a Network. This is a fantastic way to learn about meeting people and prospecting and networking, and we're going to post all this, of course, okay? These things, when they're done consistently, when you're making contacts, when you're meeting new people, this is how that funnel gets filled. We talked about that at the beginning. And this is how people that you see that are doing, 10 grand in a month on a regular basis, this is how they start. This is how they do it consistently. The top sellers, the top recruiters, this is what they do. That's how we know what to do. Success leaves clues. We are following the trail of very successful people, okay? So keep your eye on the goal. Director bound. That's what this is called. So you need to do things that you have never done before because you're looking for results that you've never had before. And like we said at the beginning, every single person in this training has the ability to do this and more. We know that you can do it. And sometimes we just need to start taking the action, and then we will really start to see it happen. Does anybody have any questions on what we talked about tonight? All right. Anybody a little scared about making those 10 out and about contacts?
A little bit.
A little bit. Do a shot before you go out. I don't care. Just don't drive. But seriously, go talk to people, okay? You can be at a bar. It doesn't matter.
Hey, this is what
A little liquid courage.
Yeah.
Michelle always says.
What, Michelle?
Sales manager always says, do it scared.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it.
Yep.
Get over being scared, because if you're always in your comfort zone, you're never growing.
Yep.
Right? And if you're not growing, do you know what you're doing? You're dying.
Yep.
You're either
Yep.
growing or dying. So in order to grow, we got to do it scared. And I'll tell you what, Julie and I and Nicole, we do things scared all the time.
Yep.
We just suck it up and do it and think, I'll worry about it later.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if it's Jack Canfield, somebody I've read before, but they talk about fear. And it doesn't matter if you have kids or not, but you've all seen kids like this in the grocery store, okay? Fear is like that 2-year-old that starts having a tantrum. You know what's going to happen. Crap still needs to get done. You're just doing it anyways.
Right.
Okay? So when you start out to make these first out and about contacts, you're going to get scared. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Tough. We're doing it anyways. Okay? That's it. So make sure that you are taking the action, because like I said, Michelle and I know that every single person on this call can do this. And every single person on this call can be a director and have this incredible director team in the next few weeks if you want it. And then you get to celebrate at conference, you get to go to Disney. And the best part about it is the relationships you build on the way. I guarantee every single one of you here is thankful for somebody that you know in Pampered Chef. They've made your lives more fun. They've made your lives more entertaining. You're happy for these people. Share that. Go out and make some new contacts. Book some new parties. And next week, you're all going to come back and you're going to tell us what it felt like and how terrified you were and that you did it scared.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody, so much. We are so happy that you invested your time. We believe in you. We love you. And go knock it out of the park, everybody, okay?
Righty.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See y'all soon. Take care. Bye.